I got stories, so I'm trying to paint a picture. Y'all don't want to be great. Y'all want to keep me in the box. I gotta be the villain. How long I gotta play the villain? Like, when could I be the good guy?
Did you have time to be like, no, Von, don't fight?
He just jumped out the car, and from there, it's what y'all seen on the video. Boom, boom, boom.
Gunshots, 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 gunshots.
Rapper King Von shot and killed after a deadly fight erupted in front of Monaco Hookah Lounge. 6 men shot, King Von and 2 others dead.
That's what happens when you mix street with music.
If you would have grew up where I'm at, you would have had to be gangbang.
Living in Chicago, you are in a crossfire. There is no avoiding it.
Why did he throw that punch at Quando Rondo? Von had some kind of issue with NBA YoungBoy, and they say that you're in the middle of that because there was a picture with NBA YoungBoy.
I seen the police kill one of Von's friends.
For 50 Cent, why did you feel like you had to make this show?
We're not attempting to solve a crime that's been solved.
I got you. We're asking questions and trying to get answers. We'll track down never-before-heard eyewitnesses and expose internet rumors.
So everybody was just pointing fingers because nobody had the answers.
And to get to the one thing that lets people have justice and closure. And that one thing is the truth.
They took a jewel away from us. I want the truth to be out.
This is Hip Hop Homicides. Welcome to Chicago, one of the worldwide capitals of hip hop. Guys like Kanye West, Common, Lupe Fiasco, Vic Mensa, and a host of others have made the Windy City one of the hottest spots for music, period. But in that same time, there's been a new phenomenon to develop here in Chicago. That is drill music. And one of the kings of drill music was a gentleman by the name of King Von. Davon Bennett, better known as King Von, wasn't just a king on the mic. He was a king in the Chicago streets. With such a feared reputation that a lot of people thought it was only a matter of time before someone caught up to him here in this city.
It's the last man standing. It's either you're gonna be in jail, you're gonna die, or you getting lucky.
He lost his life, but not here on the streets of Chicago. He lost his life hundreds of miles away in Atlanta. Only weeks after moving from the violent lifestyle in Chicago to pursue his rap career in Atlanta, King Von's single Crazy Story went viral, the video racking up millions of hits on YouTube. Less than 2 years later, Von was killed in a fight he started outside an Atlanta nightclub. We're here to ask the questions and hopefully get the answers to what caused that fight and why did King Von end up dead. I'm on my way to meet Tasha, King Von's mother, and his godmother, LaToya, to talk to them about who Davon Bennett, aka King Von, was as a son and a godson. The question is, who was he really? Tasha, thank you so much for talking to us today.
You're welcome.
Tell us about your son, not King Von. Tell us about your son as you knew him from the beginning. What kind of kid was he?
He was like me, like shy, you know, laid back, shy, kind of just want everything to be cool. He was a mama's boy.
Why you say that?
Because he would always come to me for everything, for anything. Oh, my mama gonna do this, my mama this, my mama that.
What was he like as a kid?
Oh, man. He was fun. He learned everything fast. I remember he was riding his bike with no chain and wheels at 2, flying, flying up the street. We like, how that happen? You know, like, how he learned? Taught himself.
What do you miss most about Von?
His smile, when he tilted his head, when he him giving me a kiss, I love you, Ma. Love you, Ma. Him calling me, aggravating me about the baby mama.
What would he say about them?
Oh, please.
We're
not gonna go there. All he wants is money and girls. That's it, that's all. He don't want nothing else. He don't want no drama, he don't want nothing. Money and girls.
Right,
and he decent, he good.
What's the difference between King Von and Davon?
A lot. Davon was the sweet, gentle kid. just being him. That King Von, that's just, you know, that's his rap name, you know, and that's the sad that I guess the mothers didn't know, you know, and then Ketta know. We knew him, who he really was, you know.
One of the people who saw firsthand Von's shift from mama's boy to street life was his cousin, Belo, who grew up with him on OBlock, a South Side neighborhood with a rep as one of the most violent blocks in America. I know that you were very close to King Von.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Man, we so close. We cousins, but we like brothers. Like, we did everything together, from baseball teams, football teams, everything. Lived in the same household for years.
So definitely just like brothers.
100%.
Von was from OBlock. You guys grew up in the same household. So you know about OBlock, right?
Yeah. I had my first fight over there.
You had your first fight in OBlock?
Yeah.
What is it like over there?
Everybody used to be fighting over there.
Right. You be over there.
So I wouldn't tell a tourist to go over there, like, because somebody don't know you, they might beat you up.
Right.
So I don't know what to say, you know?
Right. So at what point did he transform to being more of a street guy? Around what age did that happen?
Well, maybe 11, 12, he was hanging out in the streets. That's when he started doing vandalizing the property and breaking gates and like, he'd be fighting.
It's interesting to hear Belo say that Von's shift to the streets happened at age 11. That's the same year that his father, who was in jail for most of Von's life, was shot to death.
My parents weren't really never together. My father was in jail. I met him when I was 8. Then he passed away after not too long to get out.
King Von's own life came to an end in the early morning hours of November 26, 2020, when he was shot and killed in an altercation outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in downtown Atlanta. To understand what happened to Von that night, it's important to know that Von, who was signed to his friend Lil Durk's record label, Only the Family, was in a heated rap beef with NBA Youngboy, the head of a rival label. On that fateful night, Von ran into Taekwon Bowman, aka Quando Rondo, who was then Youngboy's most popular artist on his label, Never Broke Again. And he attacked him on sight. Quando's boy, Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, was standing by. There with Von were his boys Mark Blakely, aka Slutty, Lewis Johnson, aka OTF Louie, and Marcus Smart, aka Muwai, as well as Von's manager, Jameson Francois, aka 100K Track. The entire sequence of events was captured by 2 surveillance cameras outside the Monaco. Okay, we are right here. Nikki, I can see the Hookah Lounge Monaco right here. I can see Chic Restaurant Lounge. I guess the question is, run us through how this whole thing happened.
So the altercation began next to the Chic Lounge.
Right.
So King Von walked over to Quando Rondo. Von and Quando get into a physical altercation, which spills into the street. And at that point, Quando's boy, Lil Tim, he runs up and he pulls out a gun and fires one fatal shot to King Von.
King Von wasn't the only one shot that night. The injured include Von's shooter, Lil Tim, Von's manager, 100K Track, Von's friend, OTF Louie, and fatally wounded was Von's friend, OTF Slutty.
At that point, the crew started shooting at each other. His friend, Mark Blakely, who goes by the nickname Slutty, gets out of the car to shoot at Tim, but his gun jams. But Tim gets hit. Tim hits the ground.
Right.
And Blakely is still holding the jam gun in his hand and takes off running across the street. And Mark Blakely was shot and killed in that parking lot. Right where you're standing, Von's boys start to pick him off the ground. They drag him over to a vehicle.
Obviously, it looks pretty bad. They got to get him to the hospital.
Correct. They decide to self-transport him.
So why did he start the fight in the first place?
We're not sure exactly. That is the big mystery, what the altercation was.
With the surveillance cameras rolling, the details surrounding Von's death are in black and white. We also know that Quando Rondo was never charged with any offense, while Lil Tim was arrested and charged for killing Von and released on bond in March of 2020. No trial date has been set. But what I want to know is, why did it happen? Why did King Von throw that punch at Quando? What were the origins of the beef between them? Everyone knows what happened to King Von. We all saw it play out. But nobody seems to know why, and that's what we're here to figure out.
I can see everything.
You right there for the whole thing.
I seen the police kill one of Von's friends.
I went to cover, I got shot.
So how do you know they did it?
Because this the only person that was shooting me.
People say Von had some kind of issue with NBA Youngboy. And they say that you're in the middle of that because there was a picture with NBA Youngboy. I'm investigating the death of rapper King Von, and I'm meeting up with DJ Key at the scene of the crime. Not only was he there that night, he was the one who leaked the surveillance footage to the world. I'm hoping he can help me understand why Quando Rondo was there and why King Von decided to attack him. You were here that night.
I was DJing.
What was it like?
I was in the DJ booth, and soon as they got to fighting, they broke the door down. Everybody tried to run back in. I knew Von was there because Von was on the party.
Right.
So I came outside, and it was already done and over with.
Was it well known that King Von was going to be at Chic or Monaco tonight?
That night?
Yeah.
No.
So, Quando Rondo, you're the DJ here. Is this the spot that he's come to before? Had you seen him here?
Not that I know of. Not on the day I've been here.
What do you think was up between Rondo and Von?
I think social media influenced that.
Interesting. Why you say that?
Some people don't like being quote-unquote embarrassed on social media. So I think one of them said that when they see each other, they got to fight. So I guess when they seen each other, that's what was supposed to happen, and it went wrong.
Right. King Von had beef with Quando Rondo because he was a rapper on NBA Youngboy's label. Von and Youngboy had been going through a well-publicized social media feud that involved women in both their lives. King Von posted a scandalous photo of himself holding hands with NBA Youngboy's baby mama, Janelle, prompting Youngboy to then retaliate by hanging out with Von's longtime on-again, off-again girlfriend, Asian Doll, who's also a rapper. You're Asian Doll's DJ. That's interesting to me because she's someone who is both connected, obviously, to King Von and Youngboy. Do you feel like the Asian Doll relationship between those guys had anything to do with the fight that happened out here?
From what I know, I don't think she getting the street beef. Even though she portrays to be a gangster lady, a gangster rapper.
Sure.
I don't think, if you're not that close to neither one of them, you're not gonna really know the full truth, so.
If King Von's ex-girlfriend, Asian Doll, is at the heart of this social media feud, then I absolutely have to track her down and speak with her. Historically, rap beefs don't end in bloodshed, at least not since Biggie and Tupac. But Von's death broke that chain. It seems like Von treated his rap ops similarly to his street ops. To understand the life and death of King Von, we need to understand his life in the streets of Chicago. Was King Von a product of his environment or his own bad choices? Or both? Rapper Vic Mensa was raised on the south side of Chicago, several blocks away from OBlock where Von grew up. And those few blocks may have made all the difference. Vic managed to avoid the same pitfalls and built a successful hip-hop career. I want to get his perspective on the cycle of violence in the Windy City.
I never met King Von, but it definitely hurt me to hear of his passing and then to posthumously start to go into his music and realize what brilliant storyteller he was. It's so honest.
It's real.
You know, it's so real, it's so infectious.
What's your experience with the streets of Chicago?
A lot. You know, you don't live in Chicago without experiencing the streets of Chicago. I come from the South Side, so my history is like very violent, you know, and just a lot of fighting and, you know, bloodshed.
How hard is it to avoid what you're talking about? Like, could you have avoided any of the stuff that you're discussing right now?
Stay in the house. If you stay in the house, you can avoid it.
You is where you at? Like if you would have grew up, if you would have been born where I'm at, you would have had to be gangbang. Just because that's what it is. Or you ain't going outside.
if you outside, you know, there is no avoiding it. You know what I'm saying? Because living in Chicago, you are undoubtedly in a crossfire, you know? But we're not born violent. We're not born bad. I believe as human beings, we begin on a clean slate. But the ultraviolence of Chicago is a pollutant. It starts to transform your thought processes to match your environment. You know what I mean? Look at it like a virus. Those in proximity to you are more likely to catch the virus. You know what I mean? That's the way that pathogens move. And it's kind of how the violence moves.
In 2018, King Von tried to leave the Chicago street life behind. Along with his childhood friend Lil Durk, Von moved to Atlanta to focus on hip-hop and signed to Durk's label, Only the Family. But less than a year later, Von was charged for a shooting that took place right in this parking lot. It wasn't just him, though. Lil Durk was present at the scene with Von and was charged as well.
Case against a rapper accused in a shooting outside of the Varsity will move forward.
Criminal attempt to commit murder.
Police say they have video evidence in this case.
Devontae Bennett, seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon, a person police say they knew.
Police said Von was caught on tape shooting and robbing the victim.
He said his chain was snatched off his neck and he had $30,000 stolen from him.
Some people looked at it as just another shooting in Atlanta, but now after his death, we have to ask the question, was this just another example of how violence seemed to follow King Von wherever he was? I'm still trying to set up a meeting with King Von's ex-girlfriend, Asian Doll, who was with Von on again, off again in Atlanta, and who might be the key to the social media beef. But I've managed to connect with King Von's sister, Kayla Bennett, aka Kayla B. I'm hoping she can shed some light on what she knows about Von's beef with NBA YoungBoy and why he may have attacked Quando Rondo and what truly caused the shooting outside Club Monaco.
That was the worst day of my life. Like, I really don't cry. Like, when people pass away, I don't cry. I don't do none of that. But it's like when my brother died, that was a different cry. I ain't never hurt myself. Like, I never felt that way about nobody.
Wow. So that bond that you guys had.
Yeah, we had me and him was real close. Our other brothers and sisters really wasn't like in the streets. They was good kids. Like, me and him both used to go to jail, get locked up. We used to fight the same people. Like, we used to be like, in hoods. We used to really gangbang, like.
You like the female Von.
Yeah, I'm the female version of him.
You haven't really talked about to anyone what happened that night here in Atlanta.
No, I don't really talk to people about it.
It seems like it's a very tough thing to do. Why did you feel like it was important to do now?
Because maybe it's time for me to talk about it, let it out.
Where were you exactly the night that your brother lost his life? I
was with him, but I was...
You were with him that night?
Yes. I can see everything.
Are you okay with going and showing us, like, everything that happened?
Yeah. Yeah, the police was right here.
That's pretty much point-blank range that they were shooting.
Yeah.
Whatever is done in the dark comes to the light.
I'm talking to King Von's sister, Kayla B., and she just revealed that she was with her brother the night he was murdered. I've been wanting to talk to someone who saw the fight go down, so this is a big development in the investigation.
I was with him. But
you were with him that night?
Yes, I was in the truck with my driver, and he was in another truck. So I can see everything.
Like the whole drama pops off and you right there for the whole thing?
I seen everything besides my brother situation. But I'm seeing what's going on with his friends, the police officers. I heard the gunshots. So now I'm paying attention. I see a police officer, like, ducking behind the cars. I seen the police kill one of my friends.
Huh. Because there's been a lot of talk about what happened to specifically one guy, Mark Blakely, AKA Slutty.
Yeah, Slutty. That was him. I seen the police killing him.
Are you okay with going and showing us like everything that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be very important for me to understand where everybody was and what it was you saw from how far away.
Okay.
Finding out Kayla B was there the night of Von's killing is a game changer. Now we have an eyewitness who can help us piece together the facts of what really went down that night. What was the mood like when y'all was, when y'all made it to Sheik?
When we first pulled up there, we was sitting outside for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
He was taking pictures with some of his friends that was visiting.
Right. But nobody was expecting to run into Quando Rondo or anybody that night, right?
No. We was sitting outside of Sheik just chilling, talking.
How many people in the crew at this point?
My friends was with him, my friends was with me, so we was deep enough.
Deep enough to where you guys felt cool moving around?
Yeah, like to move around with each other. And plus, Von had his security, so.
Right. Where was the security at when everything started going down?
He was on the side of him when he first approached the boy.
I know as you say the boy, you don't ever say Quando's name. Is that because sort of thing where you have an opinion, or is it too hard to say it? Like, is it?
It's not hard to say, I just don't.
Yeah.
I rather not say it.
I feel you.
They're nobody to me, so I'm the boy.
Boy. How much do you know about what was going on back and forth between them?
I know a lot.
People say it was over a girl and it had to do with the fact that Rondo is signed a young boy, and then the fact that
Young boy is just a hater. Just regardless, he's a hater. He hit on everybody. So if it was because of a female, he's a hater because maybe Von was taking all his females that he was dealing with.
Let's talk about your vantage point to all of this.
Okay. We at least like right here.
Here. So from your vantage point, you can see the police on the left.
I seen the police duck down, sneak in from behind the cars, and I seen Slutty and a couple of more of the other boys.
So at no point that night did you ever lay eyes on Quando Rondo?
Nope, I didn't see him.
Or anybody from his crew?
I didn't even know anybody was fighting over there. I didn't know my brother had fought. I didn't know that boy was over there. Like, I didn't know none of that.
So if Slutty's laying here, where are the police shooting from?
From right there.
From right here?
Yeah, the police was right here. I'll show y'all. The police was like right here, ducked down, shooting.
So the cop is there shooting him. He's laid down there.
Yeah, he laid down right
Your
here.
Your car is there so you can see him.
Yep, they would shoot him and then he fouled. They shoot him again, then he had just completely stopped.
So that's pretty much point blank range that they were shooting.
Yeah.
Huh. And meanwhile, that's happening from here. You're over there.
Yeah.
So you can't really see what's happening
I can't see what's
with
going
your brother.
on in the middle of the street at all. You heard gunshots, 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 then it stopped. Then you heard more gunshots, like you kept hearing gunshots. But I think inside the car of Slutty getting shot by the police.
King Von's sister Kayla dropped a bombshell on us.
Could somebody transfer me to robbery homicide? The question is, how much does the Atlanta Police Department know and is not sharing with us and the public at large? There, you can call me back there. They will not talk with us. They will not work with us. So now our only choice left, what we have to do, is we have to get in touch with somebody at the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. None of these lives are disposable. If I could talk to whoever is dealing with the death of King Von or the APD's involvement. Question is, how cooperative with us will the GBI be? Okay, so an email? Sure. So I'll email and hopefully we can get some information.
I'm still working hard to secure a meeting with King Von's ex-girlfriend, the elusive Asian doll, who may have been at the center of the social media feud between Von and Youngboy. However, I did just score an interview with Von's manager, 100K Track, who was right in the middle of the gun battle that took Von's life. Maybe he knows more about why Von threw the punch that night.
What about Von made you want to work with him?
The way he carried himself, the genuineness, just putting storytelling back in music. And I was like, yo, this is fire. This is just like something the world needs to see in 2020.
You were there that night?
I was there that night and got shot that night with Vaughn. We shared the same blood that day.
From your recollection, what happened that night?
So, you know, I come to Atlanta, we had an after party spot. So you can't walk inside the venue with a gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, come on, put all the guns away. You better go inside the club. We in the car, somebody come and just be like, hey, bro, Quando here, woo-doo. He just jumped out.
Social media fans speculated as to why Vaughn got out of his car and instigated the attack, citing the beef over NBA YoungBoy's baby mama Jania and Vaughn's ex-girlfriend, Asian Doll. Did you have time to be like, no, Vaughn, don't fight? Or I
didn't know he was gonna fight. He just jumped out the car. And from there, is what y'all seen on the video. They got into a scuffle. Boom, boom, boom. Then thunderclouds of bullets, like of sounds that started. Officers were shooting. Other people were shooting. It was a lot of stuff going on.
Why do you think he punched Quando then?
That's what happens when you mix street with music.
Right.
There's no line anymore. The streets is music, music is streets. It's not entertainment. It's all one pot. It's really pitiful. I hate it.
Quando Rondo is alive. When you see or hear the name Quando Rondo, what do you think?
And I don't wake up every day thinking about Quando Rondo. I wake up every day like, this man got a mother. I gotta make sure his mother is good. Cause that's what he was wanting to do. He got 3 kids. Gotta make sure his kids grow up different. If I wake up with revenge and blood in my eyes, destruction only leads to destruction. Evil only leads to evil.
One of my closest friends, who's right now serving a 15-year sentence, and told me that when he was in the county, this was before King Von was like blown up as a rapper, but you know, he was famous in the streets. And that King Von really just looked out for him. He later on found out that Von was, you know, who he was. King Von was so kind to him, man. I thought that was so ill, you know?
I'm talking to King Von's manager, 100K Track, who was also shot in the same gun battle that killed King Von. Talk to Kayla B, Von's sister.
For sure, shout out to Kayla.
Von is not the only person that lost his life that night.
No.
Slutty.
Long live Slutty.
Was killed that night, Mark Blakely. She says the cops killed him.
Yeah, they definitely killed Slutty.
Did you see the cops shoot Mark Blakely?
I went to cover, I got shot.
So how do you know they did it?
Because this is the only person that was shooting. After the guy who shot Vaughn, they left, because they got hit too. We got hit.
The only person left shooting was the police?
Yeah.
Why do you think nobody's really talking about the fact that the police were shooting people out there? Like, why aren't the police being transparent with the people of Atlanta?
I don't know. That is a great question. Why is that? Because nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how the police killed Slutty. Nobody talks about that.
I'm going to keep working to get some information from the Atlanta PD and GBI about Slutty's death. But I've also still got a lot of questions about what started the fight that night to begin with. And I'm hoping I'm about to get some answers. I finally managed to schedule an interview with Miss Sharon Allen, aka Asian Doll, King Von's ex-girlfriend who dated him for 2 years up until just a few months before his death. She picked up a lot of heat soon after Von's murder for posting on her social media and blaming his boys for Von's death for not holding him back when he attacked Quando Rondo. Since then, she's been reluctant to speak on camera. She's walked out on multiple other interviews and is known to be combative, so I have no idea what to expect here. But she was one of the people closest to Von, and she was also the fodder of some of the internet beef between King Von and NBA YoungBoy. So she might just have the answers I've been searching for. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's start at the beginning. Tell us about your relationship with Von. Like, how'd y'all meet?
Me and Von met at a basketball game.
Right.
You know how you walk past people sometimes? It was like...
Like a little spark or something like that?
Usually when I meet somebody, I forget them.
Yeah.
That situation I didn't forget. I wasn't too much of a believer in love. I was taught love, basically.
You feel like he taught you love?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because without Vaughn, I would have never knew how to be a woman.
Oh. So when you heard about it, take me through how you found out.
But yeah, I got a call from the lady at the hospital.
And obviously, at that point, that must have been pretty hard.
Duh. If I go into an insensitive mode, then don't take it offensive.
I'm good.
That's me protecting myself from being emotional.
I know it was hard, but I guess I'm trying to just figure out, was it harder because y'all had just broken up?
I don't like you. Because you're making me cry.
It's okay.
It's not.
You love them. All right? It's okay. Can we get something for her?
Only reason I'm crying, because, I miss Bo. I miss him. I miss, love of my life. I just wish he was still breathing. Other than that,
You don't get mad?
Hell yeah. What?
Who you get mad at?
Anybody.
People say.
People.
People. People. People be talking.
Yeah.
People say that Vaughn had some kind of issue with NBA Youngboy. And they say that you're in the middle of that because there was a picture of you with NBA Youngboy. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the fight that ended in rapper King Von's death. And I'm talking with his ex-girlfriend, Asian Doll, who was caught in the middle of a social media feud between Vaughn and NBA Youngboy. So, Vaughn had some kind of issue with NBA Youngboy. And they say that you're in the middle of that because there was a picture of you with NBA Youngboy. Do you remember this picture?
You see what you say? Like, it's a picture, like, a lot of you see how you just saying?
Yeah.
Not but you just saying stuff?
Yeah.
So.
But there was never there was never anything between you and NBA Youngboy.
No. What else they saying?
She went and did a video with NBA Youngboy.
No video. What else they saying though?
Who else?
I don't know, the people.
Oh, they're saying that like they were beefing because of you.
Mm-hmm.
They were going back and forth because of that. Like
No, what else they saying? Beefing, picture.
Beefing, so they say the beef. Now you want me to run it all down. They say the beef, they say the picture, and then they say that Quando Rondo was into it with Vaughn because of the NBA Youngboy thing. And then they get into a fight, and then he's dead, and they always say this.
You see, it's just like you're losing me.
Okay.
Feel me?
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
What?
I do. You have to deal with mourning someone, and then you also have to deal with blame and with hurt and with people needing somebody, and they put it all on you.
We get the blame, we get the everything.
Right.
I know what's up. Whatever is done in the dark comes to the light.
Asian Doll clearly loved Vaughn a lot, and she's still distraught over his death. In terms of the beef between Vaughn and NBA Youngboy and Quando Rondo, we didn't get a whole lot of information. She denies ever having a relationship with NBA Youngboy, but wouldn't comment on why the fight may have started that night. But I will keep searching for answers. So we reached out to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, and we have been stonewalled. They have told us that they will not comment on the shooting of Slutty because it's an ongoing investigation. And as long as it is that, they are not at liberty to discuss it with us. Fair enough. But when you combine that with the fact that the Atlanta Police Department is also being very close-lipped on it, we don't have anywhere to go, to get a forensic analysis of what might have happened that night. That's why we're turning to a man named Joe Osted. He is a former New York City homicide detective. So for us, we're going to lean on him to really answer some of the questions about how the police might have been involved. I'm gonna have Joe Osted look at the evidence and then tell us, is that a possibility? So obviously we're here to talk about King Von and the events in and around his murder. And there are questions. But we know that Timothy Leaks, AKA Lil Tim, has been charged with the shooting of King Von.
Right.
But Mark Blakely, AKA Slutty, was also shot that night. And there's been no charges filed against anyone in that shooting. Now, there are a lot of people who think law enforcement showed up and maybe let off some shots, and perhaps they are the ones that killed Mark Blakely that night. You've looked at things with your law enforcement eye. What do you think?
The information that the police department is given is not enough to have a conclusion. What I can tell you is that when an officer discharges his firearm in the line of duty, he has to account for every round.
Sure.
So if I shoot 3 times, I have to report that. Forensics have to come out and track those rounds down. Now, the word on the street is that the police could have been involved.
Right.
They could have not.
Why not just say, hey, we've done this work. We know that the police weren't involved in this shooting. It looks like to me you have King Von dead, a celebrity. Police delivered you a shooter in a nice bow because they knew that people would be demanding answers. But Slutty, Mark Blakely, also lost his life that night. And from the outside looking in, it looks like they're of less of a priority to the police than King Von was. Either that or the police are dragging their feet trying to figure out an appropriate cover story for the fact that perhaps it was one of their guys who killed this man.
Let me explain something. From the outside looking in, I can understand how you would look at it. But me, I'm looking at the facts. I could solve King Von's murder because of the evidence that was presented to me. I got a video, right? I may have witness, I may not, but I got enough. You got video, here's your subject, he killed, that's easy. But when you got off camera, you don't have people talking, especially in our community. People don't like talking to police.
Right.
And a lot of people down there,
Hell no.
Right, a lot of people down there was from our community.
Right.
They don't like talking to us.
You can say black people, it's okay, Joe.
Our community.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm looking at the evidence that's presented. Blake's case is going to be a lot harder to clear. And because it's an open investigation, them guys are probably still working on that homicide. We really can't, just to be fair to the investigation, right, say whether the officers was involved or not. So we need to have this conversation once the investigation is complete, because we'll have enough evidence to answer your questions.
Right.
Answer my questions.
Yeah, we should know about that. Well, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
We are not going to get the cooperation from either the GBI or the APD that we need in order to definitively answer the question right now of who killed Mark Blakely, AKA Slutty.
In a press release from the night of the incident, the GBI stated that they were investigating an officer-involved shooting and that 2 officers fired shots at 2 locations. But there was no mention whether anyone was hit.
Doesn't mean that we have to stop. In the coming months, we will continue to turn an eye on what's going on, not just in the case of King Von, but in the case of Mark Blakely as well, because I think that the life of Mark Blakely deserves answers. His friends and family deserve answers. And because of that, we remain undeterred.
Timothy Leaks, AKA Lil Tim, was arrested for Von's death on felony murder charges on November 7th of 2020 and released on bond 4 months later. Of his client, Leaks' lawyer states, the videos clearly show that Mr. Leaks was legally justified in using deadly force. No trial date has been set. No one has ever been charged for the shooting of Mark Blakely, AKA Slutty. Do you feel like you can get justice out of the situation?
No, you can't. I don't think no one can.
Have you forgiven them?
No.
Could you ever?
Yeah.
But not right now.
Nah.
Did you ever see a time when all of y'all put all of this behind y'all?
You know, you heard what Vaughn said, we're into it till you die. Once you cross that line, you gotta stay there.
I love Vaughn to death, but if Vaughn decided that day his future, his career, and his kids, we wouldn't have been having this conversation.
The real irony and tragedy here is that the beef Vaughn wouldn't let go rages on even after his death between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk.
All that smoke is, all that smoke is, all that smoke is dead out.
Oh, we out here smoking your favorite.
He became a victim of the thing he had a hand in creating. But I am also hopeful that he leaves another legacy as well.
Revenge, animosity, hatred burns the one that beholds it. So I think that our best bet is focusing, as always, on the youth. You know what I mean? Focusing on the children and, you know, doing what we can to write new narratives.
The violence is ongoing. On August 19th, 2022, Quando Rondo was caught in a gun battle in broad daylight in Los Angeles. Quando's close friend, Lil Pab, was killed.